Hi everyone, my name is Tyson Bertmaring and I'm the Head of Partnership Success here at Dyno. Welcome to the Broadening Patient Impact platform session. We have a great group of speakers here today and we're going to talk about the systemic and the product level progress that we're all making to advance genetic agency. If you think about the world that we live in, we all live within constructs. So we invent those constructs for ourselves. And they're fine if they don't really slow us down, but when they do slow us down, that's when it becomes a problem. And one of the themes that I saw with a lot of the talks that you're going to hear today are about challenging those constructs that we've built for ourselves. And I'm excited to hear what the speakers will have to say today on that subject, and hopefully we'll enter into some really good discussion and come out of this room with some insights that we didn't have before we joined. So I'm going to share a few details on how the Breakout will function and expand on what Eric talked about with the Dyno Frontiers manufacturing partners before we get started to our first talk with Jim. So the Breakout will have 2 rounds. Each round will consist of a series of talks, no more than 10 minutes for each talk. We won't have Q&A after each talk. Instead, we'll move between the speakers of each round. And then once the talks in each round are complete, we'll enter a discussion period. And what this means is that the different speakers can move into different parts of the room and host a conversation. So you can think of their presentation as a trailer for a conversation that they want to have with you. It's up to the speakers if you want to join together and have a bigger conversation, but I'll leave that up to you, what makes the most sense based on what we all heard here today. Towards the end of the discussion period, what I'll do is I will ask the speakers to do a brief summary of what was discussed, what were the key insights that were gained in the conversations. And then we'll repeat this for the next round of talks. So as Eric shared in the plenary, we're excited to launch the Frontiers Manufacturing Partners, which is an expansion to the Frontiers program that we launched at ASGCT earlier this year. One significant problem developers face is identifying and having access to the ideal delivery vector to demonstrate the transformative therapeutic potential of their genetic payloads. By participating in Frontiers, developers receive non-exclusive research access to Dyno's capsids, also advice on protocol design, capsid selection, and vector manufacturing. In exchange, Dyno receives access to the capsid performance data the Frontiers developer generates so that we can further characterize the performance of our capsids across a range of different therapeutic modalities. This data helps Dyno assist the developer and future developers as they make decisions on what current or next generation delivery vector they want to use for their application. So as Eric was talking about, once the Frontiers program was launched and we provided access to these capsids, we put our sights on solving the next important problem, which was manufacturing. The problem starts when the developer has to individually invest time and effort vetting between many different CDMOs to choose one. This continues to compound when they proceed into this new relationship where the capsid, the manufacturing process, the payload, and the participants are all new to each other. And this is time consuming and it creates execution risk. When a likely manufacturing setback occurs, given so many new inputs, it's impossible to know whether the problem is the capsid, the manufacturing process, or the payload. This leads to further delays and costly troubleshooting, not to mention strained relationships and damaged reputations for every party involved, that being the developer, the CDMO, and Dyno. Ultimately, these are delays that cost time, and every day is really important when patients are involved, and we need to get these drugs to the market. So today, to address this problem with both developers and manufacturers faced, we're launching the Frontiers manufacturing partners, and that's going to include a competitive manufacturing marketplace starting with Trisk as our first manufacturing partner. Now what happens when Dyno recommends a capsid to the Frontiers developer and Frontiers, they can choose across a number of manufacturers that have already onboarded that capsid, and they know they can make it within their manufacturing process, which makes right first time manufacturing success more likely. The developer will be able to make that choice in a competitive marketplace without the typical information asymmetry. Developers can understand both the capsid and its manufacturing performance, along with transparent terms and capabilities from participating manufacturers, enabling the developer to choose the right capsid and the right manufacture for their needs. For therapeutic developers, this means immediate access to manufacturers' experience with Dyno's capsids, reducing uncertainty in yield, cost, and overall success, and then ultimately accelerating progress to the clinic. For manufacturing partners, it builds early expertise with Dyno's capsids, minimizes unknowns when producing the therapeutic payload, and creates a steady flow of opportunities for manufacturing promising therapeutic candidates advancing to the clinic. So Dyno's actively adding new Frontiers manufacturing partners to expand both developer choice and manufacturing capacity. To learn more, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to partnerwith@dynotx.com, or you can talk to those that are already partnered through Frontiers and that are here at GATC. So Gaurav and Kadaraman and Thomas Cummings for Trisk are here, as well as Bose Levi, who Eric talked about from Epicure, who was our first developer in Frontiers.